guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video here today. And we're coming at you with a brand new Harlow build. And this is one-shot Harlow. We're using a spread launcher on this build. This is a spread launcher. We do a shit ton of
No need
damage.
to
You
say
double
cheese.
amp, you shoot, and you get millions of damage with bonus rads. For some reason, we didn't get rads there, though. Because we didn't activate our action skill. Oh, no, we don't have a freaking thing. Whatever. So anyways, we're using the throbbing linebacker. I recommend getting a 167 splash radius version. I have a 133 on this build at the moment. And then we're using the Whiskey Foxtrot for mobbing. Super good for mobbing. The fire rate on this thing is ridiculous. Jacobson Ripper is what you're going to need. And then we are using the Stray. We are using it with all SMG. You can use this in sniper mode if you want. You can also use it SMG. Works really well in both ways. So you have two ammo counts here in one gun, so that is really nice. And then we're using the spread launcher for bossing. You can also use other guns if you would like to for bossing. Like you can use like the anything with stickies or roulette or bot or anything that's just really does really good damage for bossing. There's a lot of options for this build that can use for bossing. But if you want a one shot, you're gonna want yourself a 82k point slash 510 510 damage spread launcher, and you're gonna want a amp rep kit with enrage. You don't really need the enrage. Actually, you can get away without the enrage, but the enrage is a nice bonus on damage. And then we have the crit knife, which you can use for extra damage if once. And then we're using the head ringer class mod to boost the linebacker splash radius. We have a shotgun splash radius and shotgun critical damage and gun critical damage, which is super good for the linebacker. And then we have a Watts for dinner with 150% gun damage, which is triple amp, super nice here. And then we got the phlebotomist. We have 4 in excited state, 3 in sustained reaction with action skill duration. I highly recommend getting action skill duration on this class mod or any class mod for Harlow that you're trying to use. If you're using group study specifically, if you are using group study, highly recommend action skill duration. Super good bonus. And then we're using 2 Deadeye. So we get gun accuracy, gun critical damage, and every critical hit, you gain extra critical hit damage, which is really good. And then we're using God Killer, which gives you more damage dealt to badass enemies. This is actually double dipping because this is giving you more radiation damage and dipping into your splash damage because this is all damage dealt to badass enemies. So it's all of your damage dealt. So splash, your radiation, your kinetic, all that. So that's really nice. And then we're using airstrike for just a little bit more splash radius to help boost the linebacker splash radius further to destroy the crystals even faster. And then for the skill tree, we're using 5 in parallel circuit, it gives you 30% more gun damage. 5 in bright future, if you get 30% more fire rate. 1 in ripple effect, so when you kill an enemy, you entangle another enemy nearby, which is super good for this build. And then we're using 3 in precision engineering, so Harlow, you get more critical hit damage, which is super good. And then we put 4 into concurrence, so this gives you action skill duration per entangled enemy, which is super nice because this goes really well with ripple effect. And then we use indiscreet math for 35% more splash damage, which is really nice. And then we're using no sustained reaction, but our class mod is putting 3 in here. This is what the role I recommend you get is 4 in excited state, 3 in sustained reaction. You don't need 5 in excited state. Excited state is good enough. Then we put 5 in momentum for more critical damage, 5 in neutron decay for more gun damage when we irritate an enemy, 3 in creative overflow. You get gun damage up to 36%. Then we put 2 in confirmative reality, so you get action skill cooldown per shot, which is per entangled enemy, which is really nice. And then you get excited state, which gives you infinite crit, which is super nice. Then we put 3 in the distributive fluxion, so you get shield restore of damage dealt, which is super nice because that help goes with creative overflow. Then we put 5 in the gamma ray burst. So whenever Harlow triggers her action skill, the next shot fired from her shield does bonus radiation based on the amount drain bonus radiation damage up to maximum shield capacity, which this is really nice. Now, if you really want to boost this even further, you would actually would run a run uh the man's hum so you can get even more radiation damage up for your shield. And then that's just you don't really need neutron decay. You can 100% get without it. You can get way more bonus radiation damage if you use this. I decided to use this for mobbing purposes, so we have more damage, but you don't really need it. You can definitely get away without using it. Anyways, and we're using one Harlowe certainly's principle, so you can get into the critical funding. So whenever Harlowe critical hits enemy, she gains a portion of her gun. So this is what I decided to use critical funding instead. So we the first build we posted with the spread launcher. I went into decoherence and charge. Well, this time around I decided not to because you don't really need these skills. So and I wanted critical funding, so this build wasn't reliant on just the spread launcher for bossing, so you can have other options that feel really good. And then we're using the best defense, radio this, and contamination, and compounding afflictions. You really don't need these. You can get away without using these. You could use bullets are scared of me or contamination, compounding afflictions. Don't really these two really don't really need it, but I usually do use them. As you seen in that one kill, it did do something because that one boss was dying by I don't know what because he was just dying by radiation damage or something. Maybe I don't know. He was just dying. I wasn't even sure. I didn't wasn't paying attention to him until I was shooting him again. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I hope you guys see you guys in the next one. Peace.